And welcome back to Let's Play Persona 3, episode Aegis, aka The Answer. Last time we finally cleared out Antinora, and we are making pretty good headway on the Desert of Doors. We're, more than halfway through all of the available doors to us currently, so we might just be, on the cusp of learning the truth about this place. Now, since we are in a new section, everybody in the dorm has new dialogue, and I may as well just do a quick sweep around the area to see if any Twilight fragments are lying out and about, and indeed there is, by this lamp, a singular Twilight fragment for us. Not really sure if there's anything else, but I suppose I can look in the command room just to double check. We've been burning through a lot of these recently, since I've had to open so many locked chests to gain access to grand clocks to level up the party. And we are going to be duping plenty of cards. Now that we have a multi-target boost card, I'll definitely want to be duping that out frequently whenever I'm making something that's going to be dedicated to casting Dreamfest or King and I, which we will be doing in the near future.
Let's see.
Amada then Akihiko's, and now Iori's passed. And each event took place before they started fighting shadows. Is that how they're all related? Is it linked to the reason that they will help us get rid of the Abyss of Time? We are starting to see at least some connections there. That's a pretty good thing to pick up on, Mitsuru. You know, Junpei-san never really admits just how sad or hurt he is until it comes to a head. Kinda hit me how mature he can be, especially considering how he helped me through some stuff too. I still think he ought to take things more seriously at times, though. Yeah, but I feel like that's also part of his appeal, you know? Konomaru-san always seems to be worried about everyone. No, more like he's always watching over everyone. It's like he thinks of himself the alpha here, even though you're our leader, sister. Well... both of these sound a little unconfident, but why don't we just go with this one? It sounds a little bit more sure of the situation. That's strange. Whenever I tell Konomaru-san that you're the leader, he wears the same expression as you do now. Well, I guess it's not my place to talk. Not like I know much about this kind of thing. Speaking of Konomaru, Konomaru-san seems to be quietly watching over everyone. Not going to make any assumptions about his thoughts there, I guess? We used to use the bulletin board a lot, didn't we? Feels a little weird we're not using it all now, even though we're exploring again. I don't think any of us have ever thought we'd have to continually explore like we are now. And Akihiko? Yeah. Konomaru wasn't the only one he met that day. I ran into him as well. If I hadn't been out patrolling that night, maybe he wouldn't be here fighting with us. A chance encounter indeed. And Junpei? My dad's gotten better since then, but he's still... well, he ain't exactly the most upstanding citizen. That's enough of that. I don't feel like you have to make me feel better, and don't feel like you have to make me feel better or anything. Besides, I think what's going on right now is way more important. So to get us out of this, your best option is to bring me, the great Junpei Iori. I'll get us out of this. He did perform admirably in the previous battle, and I'm sure there's plenty of boss fights coming up that I'll be able to put him to good use in. I never knew his dad's an alcoholic. I think I kind of get how he feels. It's not like I pity him or anything, it's... I don't know. Interesting. Gives Yukari a bit of pause there. Anyway, let's do some preparations before we get back at it. I got a handful of items from Officer Kurosawa, some homunculi, a magic talisman, and some ergotite chunks. Nothing too interesting there, but what I can get out of Kurosawa is a good amount of money. We got quite a few coins from defeating all of the rare shadows previously. We also have something going on at the flower shop over here. Welcome to Rafflesia, the Polonium All Branch. Your seeds from the other day have grown splendidly. Here you are. Get our seeds right here. Since you've been such a loyal customer, we've gone ahead and upgraded our seed growing service for you. And now we can plot some additional seeds, or plant some seeds in an additional plot. Let's see, we've got a few different seeds to toss over here. We'll go with the soul spinach sprout, some buff potato sprouts, and a healthy tomato sprout. Why not? Does this look right? Indeed, indeed. We'll take good care of them. Please stop by again another day. I'm going to quickly review our options for, weapon fusion at the antique store, and then we can go over anything particularly interesting I'm able to create. A couple things that we can make here, some particularly interesting things for Koromaru, such as an elementary mask, which will provide additional agility and dark boost, and we can also make a powered dog suit to get him Auto Taru Cabellion, giving him boosted attack power and boosted critical rate at the battle's offset. I think that's a pretty good thing for him. Let's see, we've also got the Achilles guard here, the Semwev, the Tengu. You know what? I will take an Achilles guard for Aegis. The extra HP could be appreciated. We can't create anything with our ergotite chunks yet, and let's see, anything else particularly interesting here? We already got the Celtis, so not too interested in that. Yeah, nothing really that good there. Any good trades we can make? Yes, we can get a Growth 3 card. Wonderful, that'll make it so much easier to power up our various personae, so I'm very glad that we're able to have that at our disposal now. Alright, I'll go equip that stuff, and next up we will hit up the Velvet Room to see what else we can do. As we enter, we get something from Elizabeth here. Could you spare a moment of your time? My master wishes to speak with you. Alright, I'm going to assume that's probably special fusions opening up for us. This is less of a reward and more of a gift. We get some more Twilight Fragments. Wonderful, wonderful. And let's just see if there are any requests we can work on right now. We do have a shadow hunting milestone to turn in, so we get a Soma there. Much appreciated in regards to that one. Hey, we already got the quest for the Bloody Button. Have you ever experienced being pursued relentlessly by a vicious shadow within the abyss of time? Yes, I'm speaking of the Reaper. This time my request is for you to defeat it. No doubt this is an extremely challenging request, and I do not intend to force it upon you, but do consider undertaking it should you have confidence in your abilities. We are far away from being able to defeat that guy. Let's see, we'll need something with Gigantic Fist. We'll also need the Hazakura, which I forget if that's a fusible thing or if we just have to find that. Sometimes Elizabeth is looking for fused weapons. Okay, nothing else too exciting right here. Let's go back into the Velvet Room and see what Igor has got for us. I've been waiting for you. I've called you here so that I may offer another form of assistance. Now that you've been nurturing your powers throughout exploration, I shall reveal to you more secrets of fusion. I'm certain that you will find this to be of great benefit. And indeed, new special fusions have been unlocked for us. I shall continue to observe you as you progress further along your journey. That is all I'd like to say. Now if you would, Elizabeth? And now we can get back at it. I do want to take Ooh, what's up, Elizabeth? It would appear that, despite his absence, you... pay me no mind. How may I help you? Interesting. But now that Quetzalcoatl has access to Ice Amp, we really want to fuse him along with Black Frost and hopefully get a good Ice Caster out of it. So I'm going to shop around my options here and see what good personae I can make. Not too many interesting options at my disposal here, but I think we're due for a better fire caster, so let's take Okuni Nushi, and we are going to create a powerful Rangda, give her fire boost there, and then we can carry over some of the buffs that we had previously. We'll also have Ma Tarunda at our disposal with her, which will be pretty helpful. She comes in with Growth 2 by default also, so I don't have to worry about getting that skill set onto her. Sadly, fusing Quetzalcoatl and Black Frost would make, Trumpeter, which is a little bit beyond my reach, but I do happen to have all the cards I need to just simply make a dedicated Ice Caster out of Quetzalcoatl, so that's what I'm gonna do. We are going to drop Pierce Boost from his skill list, get Ice Boost in there to stack with Ice Amp, and then we can throw in Multi-Target Boost to really juice up the power of King and I whenever I swap over to him. Since we have Matarunda on Rangda, I can just drop that from his skill list also, and he has Gotterdine there for a little bit of coverage. Eventually we'll want to fuse him into something that is a bit more proficient at casting, but for right now, that should do. With that all done, it's time to get into the next area in the Abyss of Doors. Or the Desert of Doors, rather. Ptolomea. This is the 5th door. Are you ready? Do you even have to ask at this point? Are we going to see another past memory here? I wonder, the dark figure that keeps popping up in these memories we see, do they really have something to do with us being trapped in this place? I guess the only choice we have is to believe what Metis says. Worrying about it certainly won't help us. We just have to keep moving and to find out the truth. Okay. Moving on here. Let's get right into it. We've got a whole new set of enemies to get through, so why don't we start figuring out what it is that we're dealing with here. We've got Devoted Cupids here. These guys have 574 HP, resistant to Pierce skills, Nullify Wind and Dark, and are weak to Elect. Not something Koromaru can directly do anything about, but with his Auto Taric Rebellion and the distress that they're feeling, we can probably pretty quickly, just set them up with a couple crits there and get a all-out attack launched right away. And then it'll come around to Ken's turn, and he should be able to... Ooh, perfect. We'll just immediately knock this one down. and then go right into the next all-out attack. One unfortunate thing that we're going to have to contend with is that I'm going to be sticking with Aegis's weapon for a while, which means her attack power via weapon isn't going to be going up for some time, and that is going to be quite the negative effect on our... Ooh, nice, get Belphegor right here. Quite the negative impact on our all-out attack damage, and the enemy HP totals are getting pretty hefty at this point. Won't be as much of a concern if we can knock things down with dark skills with Koromaru, but it is something that we need to be considerate of when we're just trying to knock things down with Swift Strike. Another new set of enemies here. We got Death Twins, 621 HP, Absorbs Fire, Weak to Ice, Nullify Dark Skill. Once again, we've got them distressed here, so we may as well just go for the Swift Strike, get another all-out attack going. Ken, unfortunately, will not be able to knock anything down here, so we'll have to just pass around until it gets to either Aegis's or Metis's turn. Preferably, ooh, hey, going to say preferably Metis, because her Buffalas are fairly weak, and this should allow us to set up for another all-out attack, guaranteed. Absolutely, absolutely. Get a little bit more Theurgy gauge built up for her. We'll need to get a shift over to Metis. We want to fill that out completely, though. Ken is going to struggle a little bit to keep up with everyone's damage at this point, because now everybody has kind of overtaken him in skill power, and we don't really have any boosts for him at this moment in time. I think I'd be better served by focusing on money at this point, honestly, especially if I don't have the Fool Taro drones drawn, so may as well go for maximizing our funds so I can make more regular use of the compendium. Also need to keep my eyes peeled for gems that allow me to get Black Quartz. I was able to draw a Succubus card there, getting her a level up. She's getting close to learning a gown, which could be pretty handy to have. Some nice general dark coverage that isn't just Dreamfest. Would deal some pretty significant damage off the back of Dark Boost also. Maybe worth it to put a single target boost skill on her, although that wouldn't really augment Dreamfest any further, so maybe not, maybe not. Hey, we got our first set of Monad doors for this section. We'll work our way there and see what we can't manage with that. Let's see. This looks like a dead end, but we haven't seen a good chunk of enemies yet, so we may as well get to work on taking this guy out. And indeed, we do have a new enemy there. I'm actually rather annoyed that we were getting into an encounter there, because Fuka seemed like she was going to say something pretty interesting there. Sadly, it just happens to fall like that sometimes. We got Ardent Dancers here. 590 HP, resistant to strike, weak to fire, fortunately for Koromaru, nullifies ice and light. We will just go with good old Maragian here. With our Auto Tarkabellion, should deal decent enough damage with the weakness in play. We'll have to get around to Aegis's turn now in order to finish these guys off. I should probably remember to do some healing in between battles so that Ken or Koromaru isn't getting to the cusp of death off of using his Swift Strike. I should have gone for Deathbound there. Silly misplay from me. We'll go with Myriad Arrows from Ken here. May get a crit. Always worth it to take a chance on that. And let's see, yeah, go with Agidine with Rangda here. Kind of overkill, more so it's just big power hitting right here. We don't have Fire Amp quite yet, but we are getting close to the point where we can find something that has it. Will this get me a shuffle time? Yes indeed, yes indeed. We will go for more money. Would be actually, I should be paying attention to the skill cards that we can get, because that would make it a lot easier to build a dedicated generalist caster. We could definitely use that, particularly if it had Life Aid, so that we can exploit more all-out attacks and easily generate more SP for Aegis here. Now, time for Monad. Always the most exciting section of these videos, I'm sure. Going to have some... well, not necessarily difficult encounters, but we might be tested here. I'm ready. Let's take it down. Fortunately, once again, the HP for the Monad encounters actually hasn't gone up too much since the last time. Taking a look at our guys here, we've got Adamant Beetle and Emperor Beetle. Let's see, the Emperor Beetle has 1,595 HP, nullifies Slash and Strike, and is weak to fire. The Adamant Beetle is just a normal enemy. It is resistant to Slash skills and nullifies Pierce skills with 731 HP, but no weaknesses, so we're not going to be able to knock that guy down. We just have to do what we can with our our basic attacking options against him. Fortunately, we're coming into this with quite a few Theurgies primed to go, and I completely forgot to heal up after the last battle. Let me see here. I think it would probably just be best to go with Aegis here. And what I would like to do is get King and I launched to deal some pretty significant damage here. This guy, I gotta double check his resistances just again. I'm pretty sure he's not resistant to ice skills. Let's see, Adamant Beetle. Yeah, it's just physical resistances that he has. So we may as well go with this turbo buff Bufudyne to deal some pretty big damage to him. Good enough, I suppose. Let's go with, yeah, Metis does not really have any good options here, so instead what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have her just toss out a Mugi Water, get a little bit of HP back for everyone, and bide her time to go for a better attack. When we have the chance, it would also be quite nice to get Koromaru to throw out Power Howling for us. Alrighty, let's see here. Pierce is a no-go on the guy on the right, so we can just go for Makoga here. It should just be a nice little bit of damage here. Need to burn through some of Ken's SP also to get his Theurgy charge going relatively quickly. Alright, got some Rakukaja there, but we can actually counter around that. So what I'm going to do first is I am going to knock this guy down with Agidyne. And I'm going to up Matarukaja on the entire party so that we can get everybody going with better damage here. Get the Matarukaja up. And our goal here, let me see. I will have Koromaru. Do we have a, I wonder, do we have a Deikuja Rock maybe? We do have Debilitator Sutras and Lagging Sutras. Not any other kind of Sutra that can counter that down. So I think what I'll do here is I'll just tap in some more damage with Maragion. Should be kind of a wash with the extra damage that these guys have. And we can use Deikuja here to eliminate the defense buff that these guys just got. Alright, gigantic fist coming through, and fortunately Rangda just completely no-sells that for us. Once again, I'm going to tack on a little bit of damage with Makoga here, and I think my goal here, or my plan here, will be to knock down the beetle. Come on. This will unfortunately undercut our damage a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. Going to knock down the beetle here, then we're going to switch over to Quetzalcoatl and hit a King and I to deal some pretty significant damage to both of these guys. Sadly, we don't have any kind of fire-based Theurgy, so I can't really go for any big damage off of that. I did put multi-target boost on him, right? Yeah, I got both of those. So I was just, found myself uncertain for a second there. Some pretty solid damage there. Going to get a Power Howling set up with Koromaru, mostly just to bide my time for when the next set of enemies comes in. Then I can launch a powerful Orgia mode with Metis. And let's see here. Once again, I just want to double check the Emperor Beetle's capabilities here. Does nullify Slash and Strike, so only real option to deal damage with him with Metis would be to take advantage of the Orgia mode. So what I'm going to do instead, so I think I'll just have her use a spell on him, having Fuka extend our buffs there so that they are lasting just a tad longer for us. Get this Bufala onto this guy. And let's see what he goes for. What I would love to do is actually tag into Ken with his Theurgy and deal some decent damage that way. We'll hit this guy down with Zionga. Afflicted with Shock, which I don't really care about. Bring it back over to Rangda here. Agidyne to bring him down. And then we'll pass over to Ken and have him use his Theurgy. It's not going to be as powerful as it could be because this guy is Rakukaja'd up. But it should still be a significant damage. It should do well enough with the down damage bonus. Maybe not, maybe not. We're gonna need to get some boosts in for Ken to get a little bit more out of that. Yeah, Ken, you were looking so strong at the start, but now things have not exactly gone your way. We do have our physical attacks in the back in order to just quickly get through the next set of bosses here. Alright, what's he gonna go for? Unfortunately, oh, he is still shocked. Nice! Let's see here. I guess I'll just go for Makoga since it's stronger. In terms of its raw base power, there we go, he's out of there. Good enough, good enough. Let me see here. Next up, we've got the Death Castle. This guy has 1858 HP. It resists Slash, nullifies Pierce, is weak to Ice skills, works out quite nicely for Metis there, and repels Dark skills. He's not immune to Strike, so we can use Swift Strike here to fish for a critical hit. Sadly, not that lucky, but with the boost from with the boost from, ooh, here comes a Mudon. We do have some homunculi, so we can avoid that if we don't get a dodge. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to Buffalo this guy down, and then we're just going to immediately launch into a charged Orgia mode to deal some big damage to this guy. Pretty wonderful bit of damage there. This guy's weakness to ice is also pretty fortunate for us because Aegis can utilize our newly turbo buff Quetzalcoatl to deal good damage while he's down. So we will just kick this guy while he is down. Gotta switch over to Quetzalcoatl, of course. If I can find him. Our stock gets so cluttered here. Go for the Bufudine with single target boost, ice amp, and him being down, and now he's frozen. Oh, I honestly feel bad for this guy. We're just gonna go for another Swift Strike on him, get a crit there, and there we go. Good stuff, good stuff. Next we've got here, oh boy, some of our buffs are starting to expire, which is a bit unfortunate, but we can still manage around that. Let's see. We've got the Crazy Twins and the Immoral Snake. The Crazy Twins are weak to Slash skills, resist Pierce and Light, and nullify Fire and Wind. Works out pretty good for Koromaru here. The Immoral Snake is a regular enemy, so this guy is also weak to Slash skills. Got 600 HP, resists Fire, and nullifies Wind. So we are just going to totally clown on this guy here. Get that going. I don't have a good option ready for Aegis, but I can still take advantage of these guys being in a vulnerable position here. I think what I'll do is, let me see, the Immoral Snake is not resistant to ice, so we'll go for a powerful Bufudine on him. Also trying to charge up a little bit of Aegis's Theurgy there. Metis, yes, should go for Deathbound here, which will deal some wonderful damage, even without the charge. Oh my goodness. Orgia mode helping out quite a lot with that. This guy's going for the Sukukaja here. I can actually opt for let me see here. Do I have a counter to Sukukaja? I was gonna say I could opt for a Dikja. I do indeed. Dikja on Ken when his turn comes around. I'll just do this to get him weakened there. Ken's stuff is beginning to revert. Let me see. Myriad arrows, will that work fine? I gotta remember if he's immune to Pierce. He is resistant to it, so that won't really work out too well for Ken. I guess we'll just go for a... you know what, screw it. We'll just go for Myriad arrows. May as well make use of the charge while we have the opportunity. And I'm going to knock this guy down. Let's pass on over to Aegis real quick. Do we have a good slashing option at our disposal? Okuni knew she had some slashing options, but obviously we traded him out for Rhonda. So it looks like I'm suffering the consequence of doing that. That's okay. We can also just go for Bufudine again. Wait a second. Okay. That's like, I keep forgetting the resistances that I just read. Would have preferred the Deathbound there, but the basic attack was enough to get the job done. Good stuff, Metis. Grab a couple of cards here. Nice! We'll be seeing more Rare Shadows as we go forward, and get a nice little stat boost to all of our active Personae. Level up for Ken as well. Very nice. We're going to be finding some pretty significantly powerful equipment here as well. Hopefully better stuff than what we have. Chokers of Anguish, giving us much better stat boosts than the previous accessories we were getting. Get a Rapier of Anguish for Mitsuru, which I hope that does something well. Vest of Anguish for Aegis here. I actually did fuse up the Achilles Guard for her for extra HP. Ooh, Enduring Soul. Well, that is Very, very useful to have, actually. That just gives us a get-out-of-jail-free card with Aegis. Why wouldn't I use that? The loss of HP is a little unfortunate. The Geta of Anguish here. We'll keep our current equipment and actually scope out what that does for Ken. His, Sandals of Treason are pretty outdated. Oh, that is a pretty significant HP boost. You know what? We'll give it to him. Why not? Grab this item right here. Get 3070 yen. And send some more treasure chests, so let's return. Well, that was a pretty eventful exploration of Monad. Now, I believe there is one more Monad boss encounter here, so we may actually find ourselves seeing a little bit more of Monad as we get deeper into Ptolomea. Let's take a look at our map here. There is no treasure left on this floor, so we may as well just continue on to the next one. Hopefully spawn in a rare shadow while we're at it, or a locked chest is also pretty good. Ooh, we got strong shadow right here. Let's see what this guy's got for us. Okay, we've got the Scarlet Turret here. This Scarlet Turret has 1706 HP, repels slash, nullifies strike, resists fire, and is weak to electric skills. So, let me see here. Yeah, Koromaru does not have much going for raw damage on him, but Eiga should be, or rather physical damage on him, but Eiga should be decent enough coverage there. Let's see here. Ditto for Metis, really. It'll be nice once Metis has access to Tarukaja, but for right now, she's mostly just going to have to turtle up until her Theurgy is ready. Ken here, though, has Zyonga at his disposal. We don't really have a good Elect caster available for us right now. We still have Thaw, but his spells are not particularly powerful for this point, so I think a wise decision would be to utilize Theurgies instead to really rack on the damage with this guy. Go for it, King and I, with our Turbo Ice Quetzalcoatl here. With some very nice damage going on this guy. Then we can switch over to Thoth and deal a little bit more damage on him. Go for the Zyonga here. Need to be careful about what this guy can do. Ooh, he's going for the Concentrate here. Fortunately, I don't have to worry about guarding up Aegis there. Let's go for the Shock Magatama here. There we go. I'm actually going to switch over to Aegis real quick. I'm going to Ma-Tarunda this guy, because we're probably going to have to suffer his attack, so be a good idea to mitigate the incoming damage a little bit. We don't really have good buffing options on this team, so I mostly have to rely on Aegis for getting buffs and debuffs in play right now. See, this guy is still down. We can just get tacked on a little bit of damage here. It's just fire that this guy is resistant to, so not have to worry too much about helping him out with ice skills. Or he could just decide to attack Koromaru rather uselessly. Thank you, thank you. So for the Zyonga here, then we will pass over to Aegis. Hit this guy with a little bit of extra damage with Thaw. We'll also get the charge bonus for switching over to him. Just get this hit right here. And not going to be the most exciting way to bring home the fight, but it is a safe and dependable one. There we go. We'll just go for the Eiga here. Always want to keep Koromaru's Theurgy in the back pocket so we can get Power Howling up at a moment's notice. Always useful to have that at our disposal. Get the shuffle time right here. Ooh, Siegfried! You know, I was just lamenting that I did not have a good user of slash skills, so that is quite the pickup right there. Get Concentrate onto Thoth here. Don't really use Megiddo, so I may as well take that. That's a good option for fusing around.
Back to exploring.
Let's see here. What does Siegfried come in with? I always forget which menu I want to go into. Let's see. He is our first option for learning Auto Masuku. Sadly, he's not set up for slashing skills like he is in the main game, or I was able to get him in the main game. Nor does he have Scarlet Havoc at his disposal here. Not a Theurgy that Aegis gets access to. Magic Incense is pretty nice, but we did not get a clock like I was hoping for. Another new enemy over here, the Jotun of Evil. This guy is weak to Pierce skills. Repels all magic, and has elite HP. 1337 hit points. Let's just go for Swift Strike on Koromaru here. And for once, Ken can actually really enjoy an advantage over this guy. We'll just fish for a crit with Deathbound with Metis. Yeah, nothing going there. What I'll do is I'll have Ken go for Myriad Arrows. getting some pretty significant damage onto this guy. And then we can have him double tap with Cruel Attack here for a really, really significant amount of damage. Got the down bonus plus the weakness bonus. There we go. Alright, I have Cruel Attack on Giranakala also, so may as well go for that, and nice! Putting Ken's damage to shame on that one. Sadly, no shuffle time off the back of that. Got 2 locked chests here. Hopefully I can actually get some Twilight Fragments discovered before we are running just a tad too low.
Nice. That went well.
Indeed, indeed. Though I'm burning through Aegis's SP at an incredible rate, and we don't really have ways to restore it. Alright, get a Dear Rahan card there, and yes, a clock has opened up for us. Let's check out what's available on the rest of this floor. Any more treasure? Surprisingly, no. It was a very sparsely packed floor, so let's get over to that clock and let's see which characters we can turbocharge when it comes to their levels. Few people are probably falling pretty far behind at this point since I haven't had too many opportunities to use them. Let's see, I want to take a look at the next bosses that we're due for, and see who might be useful for that. Let's see. Akihiko is the one who is the furthest behind in level. Fuka is still an option for leveling up with the Great Clock, which is always going to be funny to me. But let's see. The next boss it would be good to have Elect Casters. So we'll give one to Akihiko. Mitsuru is not that far off right now, so instead we'll just funnel it into Yukari here. Hey, just a sec. I'm actually feeling pretty good right now. If it's alright with you, I'd like to join up with you. Ah, same here. I've got a really good mental image of how I should be moving. Let me join you and you won't regret it. Alright, I'll tag them in real quick and we can get them some quick levels. And as I was coming back in, we finally got a rare shadow. So let's see, where is that guy? We'll just go for him, get ourselves a little bit of extra EXP and money going. Sounds like a winning plan to me. Let's see. Ooh, and we've got another new enemy over here, the Pistol Mother. So we are just really economizing here. Let's see. The Pistol Mother has 706 HP, is weak to ice, repels wind and light. The rare shadow for this area is the Luxury Hand. He only has a measly 290 HP, but he is resistant to physical skills and is immune to all types of magic that isn't almighty. So we're going to need a slightly more effective way to take that guy down. I was just fishing for a critical hit there. Let's go for Deathbound to spread around a little bit of damage. And then we will just tag over to Aegis real quick and have her use King and I with Quetzalcoatl to instantly win this battle for us. So switch over to Quetzalcoatl and King and I to deal some wonderful damage. Get a nice bit of experience for Aegis while we're at it as well. And Metis, of course.
All enemies defeated. Win. Good work out there.
Shuffle time, too. We should get, yes, a Major Arcana. I'm going to go for the full here. Honestly, I would kind of like to get Dionysus, but we're not really in the right position to grab him. Get Mediarama with Yukari, finally. Very significant upgrade for her. And Poison Mist. You know what? We will take that over Pulinpa. It may situationally come in handy. Akihiko picking up Mazionga here. Very nice. And Gigantic Fist to get rid of the fairly useless Sonic Punch at this point.
That was great, sister.
Alright, with that taken care of, you know what? Let's soldier on a little bit with Akihiko and Yukari. Not like I really have a choice, though.
Hey.
I'm sensing a strong presence. It's 4 floors below your present location. Please be careful. I was half expecting a greedy shadow there. It's always hard to tell what Fuka is actually going to make us aware of when she chimes in.
Are those doors actually clues?
I can't say for sure, Yukari. So we got Monad here, so I'm going to just quickly go over my equipment, see if I got anything better for these guys, and then I'll get into it. Obviously, if there's nothing new in the Monad encounter, I won't bother you with the details. While we're doing that, we may as well mess around in FES a little bit. What do you say? Picking up in the answer here, we are actually finally able to create Cert. We can take Okuni Nushi, and I'm going to fuse them with that Saki Mitama and a Lachesis that I picked up in order to create him with Fire Boost and Mediarama. Note that Cert still learns Fire Boost naturally, but it just saves us a little trouble if we get it onto him ahead of time. I won't have any multi-targeting options with him with these particular skills, but that is not a huge deal. Note that while Cert still learns Ragnarok, he is actually slightly nerfed from the main game. He no longer picks up Fire Amp, so we can't just carry him to the end of the game. I mean, even more so because we don't have easy ways to boost his stats up, but still, that is something that is very worth keeping in mind. This is actually the first time I'm getting a persona with a producible equipment. Honestly, pretty nice that we got that. I do actually plan to bring along Mitsuru to the upcoming boss battle, so he's not going to get to the level where we will produce his item, but eventually we could patch out her fire weakness. It would have been nice if I could have gotten Growth 2 or Maragi onto him, but that is not the end of the world. Anyway, for our party for this next expedition, we are of course going to be bringing Metis once I can find her. Where did she go? Goodness, girl, there you are, standing away off to the side by, away from everyone else. Come on, you know, you can be better than that, Metis. We're also going to bring along Kodomaru, because he has been a surprisingly useful boy, and he will continue to be useful in the upcoming boss battle. And, of course, Mitsuru, who we're going to have to, probably get into quite a few fights to catch her up in levels, because she's a good deal behind. With that said, let's get into Ptolomea in FES, and just check out any new enemies that I come across. Starting things off, we have the Death Twins off to the right, and the Apostate Tower off to the left. Let's see, the Death Twins are weak to strike skills, absorb elect skills, and repel light skills, only have 318 HP to chew through, while the Apostate Tower is 326 HP, weak to fire, resistant to ice, and absorbing elect. We will just switch on to Cert, well, we're already on Cert. We will just use Cert immediately to light this guy up like it is Christmas morning. There we go. Wonderful bit of damage there, and I may as well just get this guy scanned. Let me see. He's not resistant to pierce at all, is he? Nah, so we can just finish this guy off. The critical is just a little bit of icing there. And I think, I said this guy was weak to strike, right? Yeah, just accidentally getting the weakness strike there with Metis. Wonderful stuff, wonderful stuff. Since Cert still picks up Ragnarok, we will definitely want to get him as much experience as possible, so we can pick that up post-haste, but we will be fusing him up into another Firecaster. There are a multitude of good options we could use for that. Over here, we have the FES version of Devoted Cupids. These guys are weak to ice skills, so we can easily take them down with Parvati, and get a little bit of my SP back while I'm at it. Or at the very least, refund the SP that I use in order to cast Mabukala. Alright, and we just got the instant weakness strike there on all of them. Good stuff, good stuff. It'll be nice once we have Maragi dying for a Cert, but we're a little ways off from having that. Over here, we have a new type of Magus, the Magical Magus. 314 HP, these guys are weak to fire, so Cert can do pretty wonderful damage to them, but in order to economize a little bit, I'm actually going to use that Agi that he inherited. It'll just be a nice cheap way to set these guys up for an all-out attack, and conserve some SP while we're at it. If I had access to Maragi Dine, I would totally use that instead. Mostly just to save my time, and it wouldn't be that much of an SP loss, really. Note that he also comes with Deathbound, same as he did in the Journey, so that can also be pretty helpful. It's a nice little bit of physical coverage, and he has pretty decent strength to go along with it. And another new enemy over here, we've got Yotan of Evil. Let's see, this guy is just weak to all physical skills, while being able to repel magic skills. Let's see here, and we have the Apostate Tower again, who is just weak to fire, so I'm gonna switch over to Cert. Again, if I can incidentally funnel any experience into him, the more the better. It's not super necessary, that's unfortunate. It's not super necessary to do this, because he will eventually just be able to get a ton of experience from, what is it? Blah, blah, blah. Ton of experience from, oh my goodness, my brain just stalled out again. He'll be able to get a ton of experience just from the incidental encounters we'll get into, because again, the base experience values for enemies in the answer are very, very high. Alright, that did not need as much thought as it took for me to, get it out there. Goodness. Right. With this enemy taken care of, we should be able to get another shuffle time. I do want to fill out my persona stock, because we're at the level where we can start getting the auto team buffer personae in the answer. So it would be a good idea to keep my options open for that. Another new enemy here, and sadly one I did not get the first strike on. The Adamant Beetle. What I'm going to do here, well, let's see. Well, this guy is, he has 322 HP, resistant to slash skill, nullify pierce skills, and is weak to elect. So honestly, actually, I don't know why I'm overthinking this. I'm overcomplicating this for myself. Let's just hit this guy with Zyanga and call it a day. We should be able to beat him, no problem. Okay, I was, like, knock on wood or jinx myself there. I might have missed, but thankfully that was not the case. I'm not used to just a single vanilla enemy in these small shadow encounters. I was hoping for something a bit more meaty. And yet another new enemy. What a concept, what a concept. We've got immoral snakes here. They are weak to pierce skills, as well as light and dark, funnily enough. So we are spoiled for ways to deal with these guys. They nullify wind skills, only 326 HP, so not anything too special. Also, I forgot to mention that the Adamant Beetles have 322 HP, so despite being a singular strong shadow, they are as vanilla as it gets, honestly. But it did actually give me really good experience with a wand card. I got 1627 experience. I can only imagine how much experience Mitsuru got out of that, considering how underleveled she is at this point. Ooh, nice new persona there. And here is a singular strong shadow that I was looking for, Pistol Mother. This one is, let me see here, 1334 HP, weak to ice, absorbs elect skills, and repels wind skills. Let's see here. What I'm gonna do here, actually, is, let's go for the scan here, and let's put everyone on knockdown. I want to be a little careful about how I approach this, so I'm going to just go cautiously with this, use Bufala on it to knock her down, and then just leave her like that, and wait for our next opportunity to go for an all-out attack. She has so much HP to burn through, I don't want to take any chances here. And until the scan goes through, Metis and Mitsuru will not know that Bufula will knock her down, so they won't go for it. They'll go for physical attacks. They aren't that good at paying attention to what you do. But once she gets up here, we should be able to just spam all-out attacks to finish her off. Bufala coming out from Mitsuru should do some decent damage since I got the Varuna bracers on her. But again, her level does cause some problems there. It's always so funny to see Mitsuru's HP stat, though. It's been a while since I've mentioned this, but she is actually one of the most durable characters in terms of HP. Her endurance is not that much better than Yukari's, but she has so much more HP than her. Like, if they're at the same level, Mitsuru has about 100 more hit points, maybe even more than that. So she survives way, way better than Yukari does. Sadly, she does not have any multi-target healing, so she is not particularly good on that front. And one final attack will just completely waste this Pistol Mother here. So yeah, just wanted to play a little cautiously there. You never want these strong shadows to actually get in action.
I must protect my sister.
And after a fairly breezy jaunt, I've already made it to the checkpoint in FES. The recording is only 22 minutes. I could probably tack 3 minutes onto that for the bit of time I spent refreshing the Cert Fusion until he finally gave me some skills that I want. But hey, I am actually kind of shocked at how breezy the FES recording or the FES portion has been for recording in this game. I was not expecting episode, I guess, even at this point, it is still way, way sloggier to get through than the answer, which is really stunning to me. Well, regardless, let's get back to what's going on in episode, I guess, and finish up the video. What do you say? And we do indeed have a couple new enemies here. The world balance is completely neutral to all elements. No weaknesses, no resistances. 1753 HP to burn through. The Mind Dice off to its side is just a regular garden variety enemy. 765 HP, weak to fire skills, nullifies ice, and resists wind. Now that we have Gigantic Fist for Akihiko, honestly, fishing for critical hits with that isn't a terrible option for him. Going for the attack boost there, but I am not too pressed about that. Let me see. I'm gonna go for the Poison Mist here, because if it lands on the dice, that'll considerably lower its power. And no-go there. He's going for the Pulianpa there. Okay, thankfully we got the dodge there entirely. Let's see. I am going to go for... no, not you. I am going to go for, let me see, the Mind Dice is fire again? Yes. So we will go for the fire on the Mind Dice. And we are actually going to shift over to Metis here, and utilize that in order to get a damage boost onto Orgia mode. And we're just going to have Metis go to work on the world balance, with Orgia mode helping to boost her up a little bit. You love to see it, you love to see it. If only we had Power Howling at our disposal. Going for Deathbound there, which honestly should work fine enough, yeah. That's got a good crit rate too, so sooner rather than later we might be able to take this guy down. Going to also go immediately for the Electric Onslaught, since I have no guaranteed way to get this guy down. I may as well go for the extra damage while we still have the Tarakaja buff up on Akihiko. And yes, that is what I was hoping for, is that there was a chance that the world balance would be shocked. So now we have a good chance to hit this guy with a critical hit. I'm just gonna go for healing with Yukari so I don't have to remember doing it for later. Honestly, very tempting to go for the, what is it? The... Ah, man, my brain. The Cyclone Arrow there, but it would probably be wiser to save that for a future battle. Honestly, we could probably just finish this guy off with an all-out attack. So rare that we get to do that in a Monad battle. There we go, he's out. Should get another couple major Arcana cards, and we do indeed. Extra experience, and even more experience! It's just an experience explosion. Gotta love it, gotta love it. One thing to note is that Akihiko's weapon is pretty horribly out of date, and we haven't really had much luck finding a new weapon for him. Okay, get Divine Grace onto Saki Mitama. You know what, I'm just going to take that over Fire Boost, since I'm not really doing any fire casting with this guy. Don't need the Evade Wind on Shikioji. And he'll eventually get Null Fire, which is kind of handy, actually. We'll grab this. Should be another Choker of Anguish, and it is indeed. The one that we got previously was 8 Endurance on it, which honestly, I should probably slap that onto Aegis. Yeah, I've already got a Endurance boosting thing on her, so stay in that vein. Luck plus 8 is a pretty significant boost to your critical chances, I suppose, but not something I'm super interested in using. Got a Longbow of Anguish for Yukari. Let's see what ability that conveys for us. Endurance plus 5? Honestly, Anti-Electric Master, probably way more useful. Just completely eliminate her weakness for the start of the battle. Got Enduring Soul on our Vest of Anguish, so I don't really care what that vest does for us. Get the Legs of Anguish, which I forget what ability I guess currently has. Legs of Treason with 40 extra HP. Oh, just a flat upgrade over there. Nice, I'm glad I don't have to sacrifice any hit points. And 3360 yen acquired. Overall, pretty solid stuff. I do wish the Card of Judgment actually gave more experience. It isn't quite as effective as a Grand Clock, which is always weird to me, because that's what it... Like, maybe this is just not what they were going for, but that's what the description it has implies to me. Let's see. We could return to... the Desert of Doors, but I want to grab that treasure chest, and we might just be able to soldier on without, well, actually, yeah, we'll probably return and grab Ken and Koromaru, but let's get the treasure chest first. Don't want to deal with these guys that just happen to be in the way. We'll get this one instead.
Okay, let's be on our way.
Indeed, those adamant beetles are quite the pain in my butt. We don't really have a good option for enemies where we're reliant on crits in order to knock them down or get one mores. Actually, we don't have that much farther to go, so let's just continue on with the rest of the gang in tow. And hey, Greedy Shadow! I was just thinking about you earlier. Kind of unfortunate that we get him on this floor, though, because we already knew the map layout, so we are not really getting any benefit out of chasing this guy down. Let's give it a shot, though. He's fleeing at breakneck speed. Let's go for a right here. Be a little bit before we have Tartarus Search. Okay, we were good on that. I'm feeling good about doubling up here. Okay, and then finish with the left. He would be foolish to go right 3 times in a row, wouldn't he? We caught the shadow! Yes! The game always leaves you a little bit in suspense there. So fast, but we're taking it down right here, right now. Glad that we have been having good luck with catching these, and it's even a new one. We've got the Principal Checkmate here. This guy has over 5,000 HP and is weak to elect skills, which makes things pretty unfortunate for him, because Akihiko is right at the start with Electric Onslaught. Beautiful thing to see, beautiful thing to see. Good work, Akihiko. I mean, obviously that's a pretty inflated number just due to how these things work, but still, it feels satisfying. Ugh, several good choices here, but I should probably just go for the Arcana Burst. Yeah. Get our upgraded stuff online. I don't care about Sexy Dance, so we'll go for the extra experience and extra money. Since this was a greedy shadow, yes, lots of experience. Oh man, look at all the levels we've gained since the start of the video. Insane. I guess I can take Heat Wave over Virus Breath, why not? A little bit more strike coverage. Finally got Ma Tarunda for Akihiko, which is a wonderful get for him. Get Ma Tarukaja for Metis, and puts me in a bit of an awkward spot. I'm not sure what I want to get rid of here. Ooh. Decisions, but I think I can do without Deikisha, so we'll take Ma Tarukaja in place of that. Greedy Shadow defeated. Nice job. Managed to recover the treasure I was hoarding, too. And yes, quite a payload indeed. I'm beat, but I feel accomplished since it worked out in the end. I now have a full grasp of this floor's layout thanks to us chasing it down. I'll guide you to the stairs. Well, we already had the full grasp of the layout because of Monad. Well, that was a lucky find, wasn't it? Now that that's settled, shall we get back to exploring? Indeed. On to the next floor we go. And a little bit of treasure to find here. I think I'll just speed my way to the next floor here, because there's not really anything else I want to check out. We did quite well for ourselves getting that greedy shadow, so why get even more greedy ourselves? We can just continue on, no problem. Don't worry, Yukari, you don't need to let your bloodlust shine through, it's all fine. Shadow's not doing anything to harm anybody. We'll make our way past this guy, and grab the valuable chest here, despawning him, all according to plan. And with that, I believe the next floor after this one, no Monad that I get surprised with that I have to go through. Okay, I don't have to do anything, but I feel like I should. Yes, we've reached a checkpoint floor. Wonderful, wonderful. Let's return to the Desert of Doors. Okay, I'll be waiting for you. I noticed earlier we had some requests to turn into Elizabeth, and hey, less of a reward and more of a gift. And I definitely needed those Twilight Fragments, so what I'm going to do here, let's turn in all the requests here, get a Tower Tarot. This will allow us to get +1 for all our Personae stats. Wonderful thing to have. Golden Plates here, get a Temperance Tarot. This one has a different effect compared to what it did in the main game. Instead of giving us an additional boost to a social stat, it instead increases the rate at which the Theurgy gauge charges until you quit exploring, similar to the Theurgy fortune in the main game. Nice effect, and can be used to pretty good effect in certain situations. And finally, we defeated a greedy shadow. Didn't need... Ooh, nice, some custom parts. I'll have to keep that in mind when we return to the dorm, and then we can get 2 Atrophying Sutras. Wonderful, wonderful. Alright, I think what I'll do is I will, on my own time, I'm going to try and farm out another Great Clock from a different set of doors in the Desert of Doors. Probably just go through Kaina, since I'm not confident I can scare off everything in Antinora yet, but might be worth it just for rare forms. And I'm going to funnel some levels into Mitsuru so that she can be used in the next boss fight. So that's what I'll do on my own time, and that's where we'll call it a video. As always, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, though, goodbye.
I don't dispute the doubts you've outlined, but it's my right to waste your time.